Yeah, I was gonna say. All right, so then I can just in editing, I'm just gonna probably have to shift some stuff. But other than that,
should do that. That actually helps with synchronizing. I never remember to do that. So this sign in to download.
This is a weird setting because like we're not like across the table.
So
we're like right here.
I could reach out and punch you if I wanted to.
Well, don't punch me.
I could do it
if
I wanted to.
Anyway, something we haven't said in a long time.
Hi. Hello. How's it going?
That wasn't what I was. We already said hi to each other.
That's definitely what I was thinking.
We've been here for like an hour. You've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was welcome to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Dara Whitman, and here with me is my lovely co-host,
Cailin.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's been a long time since I've said that.
It's been a very, very, very long time since you've said that.
Yeah, because guys, I don't know if you've noticed in the world, but we finished Gravity Falls, and then Weird Mageddon happened.
Like, literally, straight up, though, Weird Mageddon happened. This is, I think, when we recorded our Gravity Falls live stream.
The world like just shut down in a ish.
Yes, but that was I'm pretty sure it was March 15th. We were recording this on August 15th, so it has literally been we did not see each other in person.
We tried to do a live stream,
and that turned out terribly.
Yeah, because like YouTube was just being glitchy.
And
then we went to Twitch.
Determined on
and then that also
me.
went glitchy.
Yeah, well, something wasn't registering. If someone was like, your computer doesn't have enough power, and I'm like, if you guys knew how much I spent on my computer and how new it was, it should have been able to handle exactly what I was doing. So something was weird. I think a part of it was my internet, because I had backwoods internet at the time, but now I have like real person internet.
Oh, yeah.
Because now I live in an area, because that happened, because I moved. Not like far, but I moved enough to like be near civilization, so I actually have access to.
So what's it like living in civilization
things?
after like 26 years?
There's a lot of people here.
I know, right?
There's a lot of people.
Right?
Yeah, what's up with that? What's up with that?
So life's been weird, but like at this point,
there's
like
been a lot going on.
We've been social distancing enough. Caelin's done moving, so we feel safe to do a podcast together. We're not exactly 6 feet apart.
We are definitely not 6 feet apart. I mean, that's okay.
We're all safe. I've showered.
I wash my hands sometimes.
Well, more often now, I hope.
I always wash my hands a lot though. I've always been a germaphobe, so like
this is not good times for you.
It's not good times, but also I've prepared for this. So it's something. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm not full of despair constantly on a day-to-day basis.
A little bit?
Of most of it. Anyway.
All right, but we're back.
And I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy we're back. And I think we need to say, guys, like, our subscriber count, like, I was concerned that we weren't posting anything that, like, it was going to go down. And, nothing went down. We actually went, I think we're, like, close to 550 subs right now.
Oh, thank you.
So, like, thank you guys so much to keep watching us.
I love you guys so much.
And we're done Gravity Falls. We're doing a new show now.
Woo! In which you have the power now.
I do have the power back. Called we're watching a show called Pushing Daisies. Which you probably
What's that?
It's a show.
It's a show. What, on TV?
Yeah, I'm not sure if many people have actually watched this. It came out in the first episode premiered in 2007.
Yeah.
On ABC. So not many people, and it was like kind of a show. I think like for a lot of people when they say like a show got like Firefly, where just like it kind of got like, I don't know if it got fully trashed by like the network,
but the network definitely screwed it over.
It screwed it over, and then I canceled before its time.
Yeah.
And for me, like Firefly wasn't that for me because I watched it after it had been canceled for like 10 years.
Right.
But this show, for me, this is my Firefly.
Oh.
Because I watched this when it was on.
Right.
And then it got really, really sad when it got canceled.
Oh, that's...
It got a few more episodes than Firefly. But still.
Right. 2007, those were simpler times.
Yeah, there were some issues that happened with the show.
Oh, what was something going on during that time?
Maybe a strike with some writers. I don't know. I don't remember that much about that, honestly.
But yeah, I just remember all of like the shows that I watched getting screwed over.
Yeah,
that's really all I remember.
Yeah, so this is kind of like my Firefly show, and it's like also one of my favorite shows. It might be my favorite, like up there. Yeah, just like it shows makes you so happy. And, like, that kind of thing. Like, when you just, like, watch an episode, you're like, oh, that was nice. Besides the fact that it involves a lot of murder.
And death.
Death
and murder.
There's a lot of it. So, you might have not heard of the show. And that's always, like, kind of my biggest concern. Like, I pick shows that, like, not many people know about it, and like the views get down and like that kind of thing. But you guys could watch it with us.
Yeah, where
I don't know where you can get it for free. Personally, I know it's on Amazon, but you have to pay for it. I own the series.
Just like pirate it. I don't care.
I'm
not personally pirating it, so I can tell you to do it.
Or
right?
like if
That's
you don't
illegal.
really care that much about spoilers, because I feel like this is the kind of show that, like, since not many people remember it, it might actually be easy to not get spoiled. If that made sense.
Yeah, probably, because there are a lot of shows that have like those late arrival spoilers. I'm trying to think of more recent shows. Like I feel like the Good Place. If you don't know the twist in the Good Place, then good
like
for
from
you.
the first season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's shows where like they're popular enough where like you do know them. So like some spoilers are just like they call them like the late arrival spoilers.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this show, it's just like really all I knew because I'm online. I like to think I pay attention.
Yeah.
But so all I knew is the premise of the series, but not really what happened in the series. Besides like a few GIFs that I saw back in the day, and when people were like talking about it when it was on. I remember, oh man, back in the good old days on my Avatar fan forums, they had that off-topic section.
Yeah.
If anybody, any frequenters to avatarspirit.net, it's not even called that anymore. They had the courtyard, which is the off-topic section. There was a thread for Pushing Daisies, and I remember people talking a lot about that when it was on, and then its subsequent canceling. So I saw a couple GIFs back in the day, but really, that is all. I did not know much about this show.
Yeah. So for this like full audio section, we're talking about the first 2 episodes. Yes. Episode 1, Pie-Lette.
Heyo.
It's a pun.
Hello. It's about pie, but also television. You see. Got it.
I don't think it's even really about pie.
Down pat.
Pie's just there. There's a lot of pie.
There is a lot of pie, and now I want pie, so thank you. And you don't even have pie. You couldn't even.
I don't eat that
get
much.
me a pie.
I don't even. I'm not a big like pie eater.
I don't eat a lot of pie, but when I have pie, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
It's good. And episode 2, Dummy. So first 2 episodes, Cailin, so far, like first reactions to the show.
My first reaction is I'm really enjoying it.
Right.
The show is like this show is very. I'm not sure how exactly I want to describe it. It's definitely very stylized in that it has like a very specific feel it's going for. It like there's a lot of like whimsy for like a murder procedural type of show. And it has a thing that it wants to be, and so far it hasn't really strayed from that.
Yeah.
So I think I really enjoyed that, and I think it's been, I don't want to say it's been a while since I watched something like that, because I think a lot of stuff I watch kind of, that's not true. But like everything has a certain feel to it, but this one like really knows what it is, at least it feels like so far, which is very exciting to watch, especially like even in its first episode. So
yeah,
like that's so I am enjoying it so far, and I'm looking forward to watching more.
Yeah, literally, I lost my train of thought. What I was gonna say next. I was gonna say, so this episode was written by the creator Brian Fuller, who, like, I think, like some people say, like with creators, like their shows always get canceled. Brian Fuller's one of those guys. All of his shows get canceled.
Right. What are his other shows? He's Hannibal, right?
He did Hannibal, which we're gonna do.
Okay.
Eventually.
And that Hannibal just got popular again because I think they just dropped it on Netflix.
They just dropped it on Netflix, and like now people are getting it popular, and like I'm kind of like, why didn't you guys like this when it was on?
This is why we can't have nice things.
No, because everyone's like, oh my god, it's so good. I'm like, you should have written it when it was on. Anyway, but that's a show we're definitely gonna do. I would say this. I technically didn't finish Hannibal. Because when I found that it got canceled, I got really sad and I didn't want to watch it again.
Yo, I've done that before, though. Like, there's a point where you're just, like, you know where it's going, and you're like, I'm just going to hop off this train before we get there.
I'm going to, hopefully, I know, like, with, like, a lot of his shows, Brian Fuller, like, says he wants to do a reunion eventually.
Yeah.
And I'm like, somebody give him the money and do it. Even for Pushing Daisies, like.
Right.
You can do it.
I think they can go.
Yeah, and so I think his other shows were Wonder Falls, Dead Like Me.
I've heard of that one. I don't know.
I know Wonder Falls is about, like, I think this, like, woman who, that's only a season. I might actually watch it. It's about a woman who, like, runs, like, a knick-knack shop, and then the knick-knacks talk to her, and then they help her solve problems.
Okay.
And then Dead Like Me is, like, a show, like an office-type show, but it's about the Grim Reapers. But the thing with that is, like, either, like, Brian Fuller, like, he just get canceled, or, like, the networks kind of don't want to give him creative stuff like that. I think that happened with American Gods, which he also created.
Oh, he did American Gods.
And then so watch, like, the first, like, few episodes of that, and that was really good. And then I heard that, like, he got kicked off, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But no, he's on the Star Trek show.
Oh, I think Discovery or Picard?
Yeah. No, Discovery.
Okay, I really want to watch that. I haven't watched it.
So there you go. There's something.
There's so much.
I also found out that apparently he was supposed to do like a series of the Vampire Chronicles, but he's not now, and I'm like, I would have watched that. But also speaking, and also with some fame stuff, it was this episode and Dummy was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld.
I don't know who that is.
He directed movies.
Which movies?
Like Men in Black and the Addams Family movies and other movies that I can't think of. I just know those.
I see.
Right, you want to get into this episode?
Let's do it.
I was going to say, how long have we been doing this intro for? Like 10 minutes. Anyway.
We can take as much time. We are making up for lost time.
That's true.
It has been 5 months.
Since we recorded anything.
I'm full of podcast juices that need to be released. Is that can I say that? Does that fall under?
I don't know.
Okay to say on YouTube.
Anyway,
let's go on.
So let's talk about this Pie-Lette.
Yes.
Oh, and narration. First of all, you notice that there's narration.
Yes, that it's a very big part of the show so far.
So the narrator is Jim Dale. I don't know if you know who that is.
Off the top of my head, no.
I don't know if I want to get into something like I was gonna say it's controversial, but if you got Audible, Audible's not controversial right now. But if Audible wants to sponsor us, I do use your app frequently. So Audible, I would say he narrates all the Harry Potter books.
Oh, okay.
It's
also
yeah, that's what I meant.
That is a whole thing that we could if we want to do random episodes. We could touch on that.
We're not going to right now.
Not in this moment. But who else? Didn't Stephen Fry?
I think he might have done a couple, but the main ones are narrated by him.
Okay.
And then I think also I just know him because there was a before. Speaking of Hugh Jackman, which might be right behind you, before The Greatest Showman. There was another musical about P.T. Barnum. Don't go. Why are you touching his penis?
I'm not touching his penis.
You were.
Okay. Sorry.
But before The Greatest Showman, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There was another P.T. Barnum musical called Barnum, and he, I think, was the original.
Okay.
In that.
All right.
Which I remember watching at theater camp for one point. Mm-hmm. So that's what I know him from. Mm-hmm. But he's got a nice voice.
Good for him. I do enjoy the narration.
There is a lot of narration, and also there's very specific this character was this many years old.
Yeah, there's a recurring
I was gonna write it down, and then I didn't. So that's a lot of work to remember.
That's a lot of math.
It's a lot of math. So they just say random stuff. So it's so there's that, and that. So that I guess that also adds to the quirkiness.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we start off with we're gonna start off with Ned. Who's the main character? We'll start off with Baby Ned first.
Baby Ned. He was a baby.
His baby was
he wasn't
9 years old.
Yes.
And then a matter of weeks and hours and
some
minutes.
other time tacked onto that. Yes.
But he lives in a court of cours. I think that's how you say it.
Court of cour, yeah.
And which has a lot of fields of flowers, which you can run around in.
Yeah.
And he's running with his dog, and everything's all happy.
Yeah.
And then his dog gets hit by a truck.
Oh yeah, I knew that was coming.
His dog Digby was 3 years, 2 weeks, 6 days, 5 hours, and 9 minutes old. And not a minute older.
Oh, no.
You do remember the premise of the show, though.
I do. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Is that over the dead dog? You're like, is there a dead dog coming?
I just knew. I was like, there's no way that this... Yep.
And then you see it fly into the air.
It's so bad. They just basically toss up.
So it's very sad, but then
dog puppet.
So Ned decides to go up and touch his dog, and then the dog just pops back up to life. It's fine.
Yeah.
So then Ned's like, what? Apparently he has the ability to bring the dead back to life.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. He doesn't know how it happened. He just knows it happened. Mm-hmm. So then we cut to, I don't know if it's the next day. I think his shirt's different. Which kind of brings into questions some stuff, but...
Right.
So we're just not gonna...
We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna think about it.
So, but he's at home with his mother who I don't, like, if you want to say, like, 20 years would be 2007, so, like, that would have been the 80s, but his mom is, like, a 1950s housewife.
Right, yeah. No, it is a very, like, anachronistic type of like, plot design, like, set design kind of thing.
Yeah, so, but she's baking pies, like you do. Like, a bunch of pies for, I don't know why, just because she likes baking pie.
Sometimes you just gotta bake pie.
Yeah, so, but then also, like, Ned's kind of testing out his power. He, like, brings a fly back to life that his mom killed. And pie.
This touch was a gift given to him, but not by anyone in particular. There was no box, no instructions, no manufacturer's warranty. It just was. The terms of use weren't immediately clear, nor were they of immediate concern. Young Ned was in love. Her name was Chuck. At this very moment, she...
And apparently it still works, but then he also gets distracted by a cute little girl across the street.
Oh, yeah. It's young love.
It's young love. Her name is Chuck.
Chuck, yeah.
You're like, Chuck.
Chuck. It's a great name.
Her full name's Charlotte. Charlotte Charles.
So her name is Chuck. Charlie Chuck. Chuck.
That's it. I don't think we got her dad's name yet, but we'll get to that because it's also kind of...
That's kind of relevant, yeah.
Like, Ned kind of has, like, he's just Ned, and then everybody else is kind of, like, more, like, elaborate names. Mm-hmm. But, so, Ned's in love with this little neighbor girl named Chuck, and they have fun sometimes. They build, like, these, like, wonderful, like, playing cardboard sets of towns, and then dress up as dinosaurs and murder them all.
That sounds like fun.
It does. I never thought about doing that.
I never thought I guess death and destruction just wasn't in the cards for me as a kid.
Yeah, and it's really cute. And then, so they do that, and then... Ned goes back home and gets dust, I guess, because there was a lot of dust. Were they using wood? I don't know.
I guess I guess they're using, like, plywood.
But, like, dusting him off, and then Chuck's dad is, like, spraying her down with the hose just to clean him off. And then suddenly a blood vessel bursts in Ned's mom's head, and she dies.
Killing her instantly. Yay!
Until a blood vessel in his mother's brain burst, killing her instantly.
Yikes.
But remember,
that happened.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
Must have slipped. Clumsy. Did the timer go off?
Traumatized.
That could hurt it. That stings a little. That could sting.
Can it sting more?
Probably. How could it sting more, Dara? I foresee no way this could go wrong.
Young Ned's random gift of yours came with a caveat or two.
Bye, Chuck.
It was a gift that not only gave,
There you go.
Oh.
it took.
So Ned's all like, well, my mom just died in front of me. But I have a power that if I just touch her, I can bring her back to life. So he does that. He's a bit like,
Yeah.
I guess. But then she just thinks like she must have just fallen down. Mm-hmm. So, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then she gets back up, acts like everything is going back to normal. And I think Ned's a bit like, because he's still not used to his power, and also he just brought a human back to life.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so then there's like a timer going, and like some stuff goes off. Chuck runs back into the house, because he doesn't need to be traumatized yet.
Yeah.
As it turns out, the timer goes off, and then suddenly Chuck's father just drops dead.
Yay! Oh, that's unfortunate. Why did that happen?
So it's more traumatized. I'll get to the rules in a second, because we're getting
rules.
through. Because this is kind of how Ned finds out the rules of his powers in the most traumatic way possible.
Right.
We cut, and I know what was like Ned's mom sees Chuck's dad, it's like on the ground, and she freaks out, like you do, drops a pie. And then we cut to that night, when I guess like the morgue is taking Chuck's father away. And then, but then Ned's mom just like puts her to bed and tries to kiss him goodnight, and then she dies again.
She dies again. A second time.
Touching dead things that young Ned didn't know. And he learnt it in the most unfortunate way.
So he's traumatized.
I would say. Yikes. Oh. That's rough.
First touch, life. Second touch, dead again, forever.
So that Ned's like, okay,
Death
goes
part
back to touch her. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So she dead.
Yeah.
So this is where we get to the rules of Ned's powers. I don't think we got to the point where he discovers how long he can keep somebody alive for, but we'll get to that, and it doesn't matter right now. So basically the rules is he touches something once, it comes back to life.
Yeah.
If he touches something again, they die forever.
Yeah.
So it's only like it's a one-time thing. And then if he keeps something alive for longer than a minute, and I'll be specific with this, something of equal life proximity, I guess, or life equivalency within proximity has to die.
Right.
So like a human for a human, like that's why like when Digby came back to life, the dog's name is Digby, a squirrel died.
Right.
So that kind of thing.
Right.
So don't worry, like if you bring like an animal back to life, a human's not going to die.
But maybe it should.
I guess that's not how the universe works in this. But anyway, 2 dead parents.
Yay! Equal and opposite traumatic experiences.
So then there's the funerals, which like they're in the same cemetery even though they're different religions.
Well, I mean, if there's only one town. If they're in the same town, if it's a small
and
town.
it happens on like the same day, and we find out that Ned's father just basically shifts him off to boarding school. Chuck stays in the town with their aunts, Vivian and Lily, who are sisters.
Right.
I don't know if that's stated, but they are.
I assumed.
Okay.
I think it was stated. I think very quickly.
Okay, well they're sisters.
The dialogue's very fast in this show.
Yes, it is.
It's very
like snappy dialogue, but like my thing is like I don't mind snappy dialogue as long as like everybody is like doing it, because my thing is just like this is their world. Everybody just talks like that.
Right. Yeah.
We'll stick with it. And then as they're at their respective parents' funerals, they just like walk across and to the sun, and then they share their first and only kiss. And I forgot to mention this show is Quirky, I would say.
At their respective parents' funerals, dizzy with grief, curiosity, and hormones, young
Are they like
Ned
9?
and a
Well,
girl named
hormones.
Chuck had their first and only kiss.
Aw.
Aw.
It's cute.
It's cute.
Like a nice like, mwah. And
Yeah,
then
just like a small child.
and then they're
kiss.
separated, and then Ned, because of this traumatic experience, decides that he doesn't want to get close to people. Because just in case like something happens.
Yeah.
Because it sucks.
That's a lot for a small child.
And then he also and it also says he becomes completely obsessed with pie.
Yeah, which is normal.
Mm,
There's worse things to get obsessed with.
that's true.
It could have been cocaine. I'm just saying. I think we picked the.
I guess it would
ideal
make me
one
wonder
here.
about like his like life path from like because like you basically we jumped to about oh my god, the wiki has the exact thing. We jumped 19 years, 34 weeks, 1 day, and 59 minutes. Thank you, Pushing Daisies wiki.
Yo, the wiki is on point.
Thank you for that.
And he became obsessed with pies. It's 19 years, 34 weeks, 1 day.
That was the number thing I was telling you about.
Heretofore known as now.
Hey, look, it's Ronan.
Young Ned has become the pie maker.
And a bunch of he's from a bunch of other things too.
I first saw him in this.
Yeah.
Ned is an adult, and he's now Lee Pace.
So good for him. Puberty treated him well.
It did. He became
Puberty was very kind
he
to him.
became Lee Pace, who is in stuff.
Yeah, he acts in things.
It's probably, I think, like, out of all the actors, is probably now, like, the biggest.
It's tied with Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah,
Kristen Chenoweth is big for, like, different reasons, though. She's,
I feel like
she's
she was kind of
Broadway.
big before this came on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then she would, like, a Broadway-wise.
Yeah. Big theater
Yeah,
personality.
so, yeah, like, so Ned is played by Lee Pace, who I would say, if I'm going to say anything negative about Marvel, is that you had Lee Pace, and you wasted your Lee Pace.
It's true. They did bring him back.
But
for
they
like
still-
half a second in another movie.
But they still wasted him.
But Lee Pace, people.
Oh, it's really good at, like, besides, like, if you, like, disliking The Hobbit aside, if you dislike it, I'm kind of neutral on it. He's really good in The Hobbit.
Right, yeah. He is not at fault for The Hobbit.
He was good in that, and then I think he was in the last Twilight movie.
Was he?
I think he played one of the...
Yeah, confession time.
Have you not seen any of them?
I have a confession. I haven't seen most of the Twilight films.
I've seen 2 of them.
I saw the first one.
So the good one. I would argue. We can do a whole Twilight thing, and I will argue.
We should rewatch this. Okay, I read all the books. Like the books, like I was in like the book.
You read Midnight Sun?
I did not read.
Oh, that's why I should send you. I was talking to you about Amanda the Jedi. She just like because she's really big on Twilight. I don't think she watches this, but you know.
Yeah. But I read the books when they were really popular in 2007, which this show takes place. Brought it all full circle. Let's go.
So you read Twilight instead of watching the show.
Yeah. Actually, no.
Although
instead
granted,
of
like
the show, I was watching Heroes.
Oh, that's fair. Although granted, I think I was like 2007, so I was like 14. I might have been too young to watch this show.
Yeah, you're like on the cusp there.
I guess. Okay.
But this show is probably what, like TV 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. I mean, it's ABC, so they can't. But anyway, Twilight.
Twilight. Yeah. Wait. Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies. Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
No, that's it. I've only seen 2 of the Twilight movies.
Yeah.
Which is it sad that we've only seen those, but we've seen all 50 Shades of Greys in the theater.
I mean, to be fair, like, do I get any credit for reading the Twilight books?
You read all. You read all of them. I didn't.
I read.
I read 2 of them, and then I was reading Eclipse, and then there was like the part with the werewolves, and I got really bored, and I stopped reading it.
Good times.
But we did see. But like the shame in us is that we've seen all 50 Shades in the theaters, and I've seen 365 Days.
Oh yeah, you watched that. I have to.
I've seen that movie. That might be another topic, but I messaged her throughout the entire movie.
What a ride that was.
I will declare, but I've declared this to you, and I will declare it. If the sequel movie comes out, I am taking you with me.
I mean, that implies that we can actually like go out to see movies again.
Well, that's on Netflix.
Oh.
So either way, you're screwed.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies. Let's go.
Where was I? Oh, we're talking about Lee Pace. Yeah, so he plays Ned now, and he owns a pie shop called the Pie Hole. And it seems like I think it seems nice. It's like a nice, like...
Oh, it's super cute.
I find it weird just a place that sells pie.
It's like a bakery. Yeah.
It's like, well, but I guess you can, like, get a full pie, but you can't really get anything else.
But do they sell pizza pie?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just like normal fruit pies,
okay.
I would say, and also technically ice cream, because this show actually told me what a la mode means.
Oh.
So you get ice cream, and then also I think you get coffee. It's like a nice like little like diner. You sit and you chill.
Right.
And you get a slice of pie or even a whole pie. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. So Ned bakes pies for a living, and also all of the fruit that he gets is rotten. Because when he just touches it, it's fresh.
But
so then it's a good pie.
Once.
Yeah, basically. I think that probably like once he touches it, and I guess like he has a glove on. Because like we've like said the rules like touching, like it just can't be skin to skin.
Right.
Like if you have like a thin glove on, you're fine. As like has been established, I think for the So I think that might be the rule because he technically has to like cut up the fruit. So I think it's wears a glove. Anyway, so Ned's doing that, and then also he kind of moonlights as a helper to a private detective.
Yeah.
Emerson Card was the sole keeper of the pie maker's secret, and this is how he came to be the sole keeper of the pie maker's secret. A private investigator, Mr. Card met the pie maker when his pie hole was on the verge of financial ruin.
Oh.
That's a good gig.
Through an experience, he meets Emerson Cod. Mm-hmm. And basically the experience, like, Emerson was chasing somebody, that guy fell and hit his head and died.
Yeah.
And then
instantly.
And then his body flew up, hit Ned on the forehead. Mm-hmm. And then he was brought back to life, and then Ned's like, fuck. and then Emerson witnessed it, so it's basically like, hey, I'm not going to turn you in. I don't know who you would turn him into.
Yeah. Not really sure.
But, hey, I won't tell anybody your secret. Mm-hmm. But how about instead I just bring you in on these things? Because basically, it's a lot easier to solve a crime if you can just wake up the person and say, hey, who killed you?
It's true. That's pretty...
Although, as we've seen in the last two episodes, maybe not exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So who killed you? Again, and then you just make them dead again. And then, we, split the reward. There you go.
Perfect.
Which is actually, because I think they said, his Ned's shop wasn't doing well.
Right.
So that's actually a good way to keep it going.
That's probably why it's still running, even though it sells only pie. It's because you got that money, though.
Yeah.
You got that PI money.
But I guess with the pie shop, it kind
PIE.
of sounds like if you go to an ice cream shop after dinner. Mm-hmm. So it kind of seems like that. Hey, we had dinner. Let's go to this place and get a slice of pie.
Oh, that sounds great. I miss going to places.
You can still technically go to places.
I get anxiety now, even more so than I did before because I already had anxiety.
I was at a restaurant a few weeks ago, but we were outside.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, takeout.
I'm a fan of takeout these days.
Weren't you always a fan of takeout? I've heard takeout.
Yes. I don't like to sit places and socialize.
I remember the last time we went out to a restaurant with some fondue.
I was literally, as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, wait, no, I want to do that again. That was
you want to go back
fun.
to the melting pot?
I would love to,
that was
except
fun.
not right now.
Yeah.
We had a good time. We should do that again when life
we were there
isn't terrible.
I think we were there till midnight.
It was great. I was scared.
But that was that cheese fondue and then that chocolate fondue. And they gave us
So good.
all of the crappy desserts. I thought it was gonna be just fruit, but it was Rice Krispie treats.
It was so good.
Pushing Daisies.
Pushing.
I feel like there might be a lot of rambling in this episode
because we haven't seen each other for so long. Oh, it makes me sad, but also a little happy.
Anyway, we also meet a waitress at the Pie Hole named Olive Snook, played by, as mentioned before, Kristen Chenoweth.
The one and only Kristen Chenoweth.
Also, Emerson Codd is played by, I think you say Chi McBride. I think it's how you say it.
Okay.
I think it's a character actor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw he had an arc on House for her. That's all I remember.
Oh.
But I first saw him in this.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, so that's Emerson, and then Olive Snook is Kristen Chenoweth, who I assume if you're a Broadway fan,
you know who she is.
You know who she is.
You know who she is.
And then if you're a TV, I don't think she's done a lot of movies.
Yeah, I'd have to look.
I think she's in that one movie with J-Lo.
I'm sure she's in yeah. Let's see, what's her film? RV. That was a terrible film. Rio. Anything she was in My Little Pony the movie.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, The Boy Next Door is that J-Lo movie.
Oh, okay.
Where she...
Oh, she does a lot of voice work, it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
But mainly Broadway, and I would say most famously Wicked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Is her biggest role, but also for TV, I think she won an Emmy for Pushing Daisies for season 2.
Did she? It doesn't say here.
Maybe go up for or see awards.
Oh, she did win an Emmy.
Yay!
Good for her. Yeah, and she was in The West Wing. She was in the later seasons of The West Wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was trying to think of her other TV work, and all I could think of was West Wing. She did a few other things too.
But anyway, she plays Olive, and she's a waitress at the Pie Hole.
Yes.
That's all we know for this second. But then we're having a discussion about a murder case involving a dog. I don't have that murder thing because it's a small detail, but it kind of just shows what they're doing.
Right.
So they say this guy gets mauled by a dog, and they think it's his dog.
Right.
And then they go to the morgue where we meet Morgue Guy.
The morgue guy. He's great.
Yes, he'll get better too.
Oh, good. That's exactly what I want to hear.
And it's so then, and this is a simple one. Ned wakes him up. The guy says after, and also I will say for the show, it's got good makeup.
Hello. Hi. Sorry to disturb you, Mr.
Look at that.
Or Leonard. Do you prefer
Leo!
Leo? Your current condition.
Do I have something right here?
No. There's nothing right there.
Damn dog.
Cantaloupe?
No. Cantaloupe's docile as a kitten. It's that Rottweiler. My secretary sicked her dog on me. She's been upset since last year's Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, the whole guy's face is missing. It's great.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It'll get better too.
Oh. Cool.
And then he basically says, no, my secretary put her dog on me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't my dog.
Right.
And then he
So
said
the dog is exonerated.
But then would another dog get murdered if a person forced the dog to do it? Did you have to murder that dog?
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Like, if the dog just lives on its own, I understand. But
right.
if a human...
That's a good... let's not contemplate. I prefer the less dead dogs, the better.
But anyway, so they're done that. Ned goes back to his apartment. I guess he owns the whole building. Or he rents it.
Okay.
I don't know, because he lives in the apartment above from the pie hole. Mm-hmm. And so does Olive. So we're just going to assume either, like, he bought the building or he rents the building.
Okay. Sure.
Because I don't know. But anyways, because Olive's watching Digby, and she tries to, like, come onto Ned a bit.
Yeah.
Which is just...
She's into him.
From China.
How's your convention?
Conventional. How was Digby?
Neurotic. He's a very needy dog. Do you pet him? Maybe if you pet him once in a while, he wouldn't be so neurotic.
I pet him. I'm allergic, so I can't actually touch him, but I pet him.
With a stick? How do you pet him?
The stick is involved, but it's more like a handle to a petting device.
Dog needs to be touched. We all need to be.
She's into him quite a bit, which, like, I feel, because Lee Pace, but...
Yeah, that's true.
But, like, also it's just... we say it's kind of funny with, like, their height difference.
Yeah, wait, how tall is Kristen Chenoweth? Let's look this
Must
up.
be. I know Lee Pace is probably, like, 6 foot.
I thought he was taller than that.
He might be taller than that. I don't know.
But yeah, I was gonna say I thought she was shorter than 5, but she's 4'11".
So I am taller than her.
Yes, I would say. You're not short. You're not short. You're like
I've got short legs.
Oh, but you're like an average height.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee Pace is 6'5".
So that
yeah, that's a big height difference.
Probably makes sense why she has to like get on the table.
Yeah.
In order to be like
to like be able to speak to him.
Yeah. I kind of wonder though, like if the stuff that happens later on in the episode didn't happen, would Ned and Olive ever get together? Because like I feel like he's only not. I don't know, like if like he's not into her or like he's not into her because of like his feeling of not wanting to get connected to people because of his powers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wonder, like, would they ever maybe?
I don't know. They seem like they have conflicting personalities.
Maybe, but also kind of feels like he doesn't know her that much, and like she doesn't really know him that much. It's just kind of like he's cute, and he's the only guy I see most of the time.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but anyway, so after that doesn't work, there's suddenly a news story about a woman who I forgot. I thought that they were saying that she just fell off a cruise ship, but I realized like later in the episode they do actually say she was murdered.
Yeah.
I thought they just said she fell off.
She was murdered and then thrown off a cruise ship.
Or she just fell off or she was like thrown off the cruise ship.
Yeah.
And drowned.
Yeah.
Still murder.
Still murder.
I thought for some reason they were saying it was an accident because I had a point about that, but like the captain tried to say it was an accident because, don't really want somebody to get murdered on a ship.
Right. That's bad. That's bad.
And then Emerson comes by and apparently I think they say the travel agency that set up her trip is offering a $50,000 reward. Mm-hmm. And they need to find out because she's getting buried like right away because she's Jewish and we bury them quick. Mm. But I was kind of wondering but it's a murder investigation.
Right.
So you can't, I don't know the exact rules for murder investigation, but I'm pretty sure you can't bury a body until you know what happened. Mm. So like religion aside.
Right.
That was kind of my thing. I'm like, that's why I in my head, they said it was an accident. So she wasn't.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like,
that would make sense why they would allow that.
Yeah, because that's my thinking. I'm like, no, but you think she was murdered, you wouldn't bury her. Unless like you had all the you had all the information.
Right.
Which it sounds like they don't.
I'm not really sure.
But anyway, so Emerson basically tells Ned about the case, and she's being buried in court of course, and then we find out that it's Chuck.
Conversation?
I can be persuaded.
Well, you better be persuaded quick, because the dead girl's about to go on the ground.
I just pulled her out of the water.
Jewish. Christians leave them laying around. Jews gotta get them buried.
Where are we going?
Court to court. You ever been there?
I grew up there. Sort of. This dead girl from Court to Court, does she have a name?
Charlotte Charles.
There it is.
Chuck.
So she dead. So she dead.
She dead.
Aw.
For now.
And then like Ned's like, aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I do kind of find the psychology of Ned pretty interesting, and like we'll get into it as life goes on and the show goes on.
Right.
But anyway, so then they go to court. Emerson finds out that Ned knew her, but not in the biblical sense.
Not in the biblical sense, because they were children.
Not teenager children, like children.
They were wee babs.
Know of her.
Know of her in the biblical sense?
I haven't thought of her since I was 10.
Think of her a lot when you were 10?
Don't remember anything when I was 10.
The pie maker remembers everything. The facts were these. Charlotte Charles, 28 years, 24 weeks, 3 days, 11 hours and 51 minutes old, was found floating in the ocean moments after her body was discarded there.
But anyway, so they get to the funeral home. We also meet the funeral director.
Yeah, that guy.
Lawrence Schultz. I think we say the name. So I guess the point to know about him right now is that he owns this funeral home.
Yeah.
And he steals stuff from the dead.
And sells it on the internet.
So not a good guy. I
Not
hope
like a great guy.
Maybe something bad will happen to him.
Maybe.
But they go into where her body is being held, and Ned asks to go in alone.
Yeah.
And so he does, and then he opens up the coffin, and I mean it's just a dead body. There's no scars or anything, which
Right.
I think they're assuming because of the show. They don't want to have to deal with the makeup constantly.
Right. Yeah. Keep it easy.
So then Ned touches her cheek, and then she comes back to life, and then immediately tries to attack him because weird. Mm-hmm. So then we meet Chuck.
Only Prince Charming could know how the pie maker felt upon looking at her.
A girl you haven't seen in 20 years.
Where to touch her. The lips too forward. The cheek. The cheek.
That's a correct response, right?
Wait, who are you? Do you remember the little boy who lived next door to you when your dad died?
Ned? Oh my god, hey, how are you?
Chuck.
It was played by Anna, I think you say Anna Friel.
I don't know. What is she in?
She now, oh my god, I forgot the name of the show. I should say this because I don't know if you knew this about her, but Anna Friel is British. But she has a very good American accent.
Pretty solid American accent.
I've heard her for actual her British accent, her normal voice, and it's really posh and very different.
Oh really? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think, what has she been in? I know movie wise, she was in that what's that movie called, Land of the Lost?
Oh,
with Will Ferrell.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that?
I absolutely have seen that.
I haven't.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But what is the? My family has probably watched that more than any family should, and it's not even a lot of times. It's just more than once.
She's on a British show now called Marcella, which is I think it's a British detective procedural, but that's what she's on now. So remember, when sci-fi was taking classic literature and then turning it into sci-fi miniseries?
Yes.
So she was in Neverland.
Oh, okay.
Remember that one?
I don't remember that.
I've only seen the one that based off Alice in Wonderland, which I really enjoyed when it was on, and rewatching it, it's not great. Mm-hmm. But then there's also Tin Man.
I remember Tin Man.
That was the big one because I think it had Zooey Deschanel in it.
Yeah.
And apparently that one's not good.
Mm-hmm. Can I say something about Land of the Lost real quick? The best part about Land of the Lost was its hilarity in retrospect because there's a scene at the beginning because Will Ferrell is playing the scientist guy, but he's kind of kooky and is not taken seriously. Mm-hmm. So he has an interview with Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer makes fun of him, and then at the very end he writes the Will Ferrell's character writes his book, and it's called Matt Lauer Can Suck It. And in today times, with what we know about Matt Lauer, it's great. It's so good. I think I found this picture that I posted it when that news came out. So anyway, all I want to say is Matt Lauer can suck it and we can move on.
So you've seen her in Land of the Lost.
Yes.
Is she British in that?
I forget. It's been a very long time since I saw that movie, and all I remember from it is Matt Lauer can suck it.
But she's British, but she puts on an American accent, and it's quite good. But anyway, so before she can fully attack Ned, he says hey, it's me from 20 years ago.
Yeah. He's like, hey, remember the kid across the street?
And then she's like, hey, how's it going? Let's give him a hug. Don't give him a hug.
Yeah.
Then it's by the way, you're dead.
Yeah.
Or you're undead.
Yeah.
Anyway. And she's like, what? And then he tries to, and basically he says, you have 60 seconds. Can you tell me what happened? And she's like, that doesn't seem like a lot of time. Can we, talk? Or
right.
It's do you know who killed you? And she says, No.
She does not know.
Because basically what happened is that she was getting ice because she was on a cruise. Mm-hmm. I miss cruises.
Yeah.
They're fun when you're kids. I'm not going to lie.
They are fun when you're a kid.
But she was on a cruise, and she went to go get ice, and then she dropped her key.
I dropped my room key in the ice maker, and as I was thinking, that was dumb.
As she was thinking that was dumb, Chuck was strangled to death with a plastic sack.
Nope. And then you touched my cheek.
Just a second.
Is my time up?
I'm sorry.
Well, thanks for calling me Chuck. Do you know no one's called me Chuck since you?
And as she was thinking, that was dumb. And then I love that bit where they say, like, the narrator, like, she says that, and the narrator says, as she was thinking that was dumb. Some guy came with a plastic bag with a smiley face on it and just started suffocating her.
Yeah.
And then threw her into the ocean, but we'll get back to that.
That happened.
Yeah. So then, and then the minute's, like, basically up, and they're kind of, like, and everything's like, what's going on? And then Chuck says, like, well, thanks for calling me Chuck, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been called that in a while, and it's kind of, the romantic music is playing.
Yeah.
And then Ned's trying to, like, I think, like, he wanted to tell her some stuff, but, like, basically it's kind of like it says, like, you were my first kiss, and they find out with Chuck that was also her first kiss, first and last. Mm-hmm. Which, like, I mean, you know, somebody can not be kissed for a long time, and, like, it kind of, but, like, she's kind of, like, very bubbly, so, like, but we'll get to her life.
Yeah. She has a whole backstory.
I think everybody's backstory.
We'll
get to it.
Yep.
So they're about to kiss, and, like, the minute's, like, going, and then suddenly the minute passes.
Yep.
And Lauren Schultz dies.
Yeah, the D-bag funeral guy just kicks it, so, you know.
And then I think Ned's
nice.
like, oh, the minute's gone. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, what if she didn't have to be dead?
The funeral director would go no further.
He was kind of a dick.
If you don't want to kiss me, it's okay. I just thought it might be.
I want to. I do. What if you didn't have to be dead?
Well, that'd be preferable.
Right. And here we go. That's the plot.
Basically.
Welcome to Pushing Daisies.
So then she gets back into the coffin because they got to figure out what to do and, like, get Emerson out of the way because he's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
So then Ned basically tries to get but Emerson's like, all right, something's up. Mm-hmm. But well, I'm just gonna go. And then there's like a chase for the coffin because the coffin leaves, and they got to get to the funeral home. And then we find out, Chuck's just like sitting in the coffin, which it looks like a comfy coffin, but like, would you want to be in a coffin?
No, not like ever.
I mean, it kind of would maybe be like a tanning bed kind of ish, but like you know that you're in a coffin.
The only time I would want to be in a coffin is if I turned into a vampire. Then I would just do it for the aesthetic.
Okay. But we find out about Chuck's life basically after her dad died. So her aunts, Vivian and Lily, moved in, and they are basically shut-ins. They've got like personality disorders. They have
matching personality disorders.
They love of fine cheeses.
She read about people she could never be, on adventures she would never have. Life was good enough until one day it wasn't. Chuck wanted more. But at Boutique Travel Boutique, she got more than she bargained for.
This is what happens when you want more out of life. You get murdered.
Oh, gee.
Which is nice.
Basically every character, maybe like with the exception of Ned, but he's got a power that can bring the dead back to life.
Yeah.
And he bakes pies. Mm-hmm. I guess he does have has like quirky attributes.
Right. They have like a thing.
Yeah, like even like Emerson does, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And also the ants have a lot of birds and a taxidermy peacock.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's a question.
So they're like shut-ins, so then because they were shut-ins, Chuck kind of also felt like she had to stay there and take care of them. So she basically never really left.
Right.
Like her house, although she did become a beekeeper and sell honey for the homeless. Like, I forget if it's to the homeless or she just sold honey to give money to the homeless.
I would assume it's the latter, but who knows? It would be kind of cruel to be like, hello, homeless, give me your money.
But then I think in the next episode we find out, like, something about Chuck that makes her, like, a lot smarter. Mm-hmm. But, like, because of, like, the fact that she's a shut-in, and we find out that she reads a lot, so it kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, like, if she, like, we're going to feel, like, a couple more skills that she has, but it's going to make sense.
Right.
Because of the fact that once you set up that a character's a shut-in and doesn't go out and reads,
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
They could know possibly anything.
Yeah.
They're too powerful.
So she does that, and then one day she's like, I want to see the world. So she goes to this travel agency called Boutique Travel Agencies.
No, it's Boutique Travel Boutique.
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
Boutique Travel.
There's a lot of redundancy.
Oh, you have no idea.
In this show. It's
You
great.
have no idea.
A lot of redundancy.
Yeah. And she decides she wants to go on this cruise, and then what happens?
She dies.
She gets murdered.
Yeah, she is.
Although now she's back to life.
She's back now.
Yes, and then after, I think either Ned lights a car on fire or the car was on fire. Something with fire to distract the people burying her.
Yeah.
We get her out of the coffin. How did... This, again, like, most of the stuff when I, like... It's not a criticism of the show. It's just straightforward nitpicking because I feel like nitpicking.
Yeah.
Like, how did she get out of... Because it looks like she was probably, like, a feet under, so she had to, like, climb out of there because Ned can't touch her.
Yeah. She has skills.
Anyway, she got out of the coffin.
She's out of the coffin.
And now she's back at the pie hole.
I can't even hug you? What if you need a hug? A hug can turn your day around.
I'm not a fan of the hug.
Then you haven't been hugged properly. It's like an emotional Heimlich. Someone puts their arms around you and they give you a squeeze, and all your fear and anxiety comes shooting out of your mouth in a big wet wad, and you can breathe again.
That's
Right,
fine for
Cailin?
someone else to do if I'm choking on something other than emotion, but you can't touch me.
So a kiss is out of the question.
And basically Ned says that you cannot touch me or else you will die.
Right.
Forever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. She gets a abbreviated version of the rules.
She doesn't get one of the rules.
She doesn't get one of the rules.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah, which is a thing.
Yeah. And, but she's, cause she wants to, like, cause she's a very, like, I guess, like, touchy-feely person, and she has, like, this whole monologue about hugs. Mm-hmm. Where it's, like, you just, like, squeeze the anxiety out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, she's adorable.
She's very cute.
Yeah. But basically, he's like, no, you cannot, like, we can't touch me, you can't touch me, that kind of thing. And then they go back up to his apartment, we see Digby. Because, like, he still has Digby, which, like, kind of wonders something about his powers, because since it's been 20 years, and the dog's still alive.
Right. So there's probably some other side
Like,
effects.
not saying, like, a dog can't live for 20 years, but, like, that dog was already, like, I think, like, 3 or 4.
An adult, yeah.
By the time.
Yeah.
So there might be, like, an immortality
Especially
thing.
golden retrievers. The average life expectancy of a golden retriever is probably, like, somewhere between, like, 10 to 14 years, averaging on 12.
Yeah. Okay. But then Ned goes to sleep, and then Chuck, I guess, like, takes a shower, and then is sitting watching TV about her murder. Mm-hmm. And they get, like, this picture, but I don't know where they got it from, like, from the cruise, because, like, if she was a shut-in. So I'm wondering where they got that picture from, but basically it's, like, it's a dorky picture of, like, her eating...
Yeah, like some kind of, like...
crab thing.
Yeah, like seafood place, eating, like, the lobster, so you have, like, with the bib and that, like, says happy birthday on the top. So.
And then she finds out about something Ned didn't tell her about, which is the reward.
Oh, yeah.
So then she wakes up Ned and basically asks, like, so you knew about the reward.
Would I be alive right now if I knew who killed me?
Of course, don't be silly. That's something in the news about the reward.
You said you wanted to know who killed me so that justice could be served. See, I don't think that justice was on the menu. Maybe as a side dish, but not as an entree.
It was most definitely an entree. It was a special of the day. Can we drop the metaphor? I wouldn't know you had died if it weren't for the reward.
When were you going to tell me?
In the morning, or when it came up, whichever didn't come first.
$50,000? That makes a lot of pie.
25,000. I have a business partner.
What, it's a business?
Not in the traditional sense.
Right? And then he's like, yeah.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
But then he's like, look, I wouldn't have known you were dead if it wasn't for the reward. Mm-hmm. And then basically she's like, well, do you want the reward? Like, is that the only reason that I'm alive?
Right.
And then, I mean, technically, but, like, he could have just, but it basically is like saying, like, I don't want the reward. Mm-hmm. That, which I believe him.
Right.
Like, I mean, he's got Chuck back in his life, and, like, it's the one thing he remembers of happiness.
Right. So he has something.
One thing.
Just one thing.
So then, like, okay, go to bed. And then the next morning, she wakes up, and there's a note that says, please don't leave this apartment, and what does she do?
She leaves the apartment.
But I do kind of wonder, because I'm like, oh, wait, like, she doesn't have any clothes except for her funeral dress.
Right.
So, I don't know, like, I mean, it sounds like she probably just, like, wanted to grab one of Ned's shirts and maybe some, I don't know, pants-wise, I'm concerned.
It's okay, don't think about it.
All right, I won't. And then she runs into Olive.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but it looks kind of interesting when, like, you see a woman just, like, leave this guy you have a crush on.
Especially because she's, like, you know, very covered.
Yeah.
To hide her identity.
And then, like all of a sudden, like, does he touch you? And we're like, no. But then we go down to the pie hole. Ned and Emerson, they're talking. And then I love the line of, like, Chuck comes in and basically says, like, introduce herself.
Right.
And then Olive's like, she looks a lot like that dead girl. And then Emerson's like, she looks exactly like that dead girl.
Are you the business partner?
Yes, ma'am.
Found her upstairs. Doesn't she look a lot like that dead girl?
She looks exactly like that dead girl.
You should take that as a compliment. She was pretty.
Pie time.
Pie time.
I've been ruminating.
Which is a compliment because the dead girl was very pretty.
Yes. And then Emerson's just like, son of a bitch.
Right.
And then they decide, and then Chuck's like, let's solve my murder and we'll split it 30-30-40 because I should deserve more because I died.
Right.
Which fair.
Which is like very fair.
And Emerson's like, okay, because he still gets money out of it.
Right. Yeah.
Although wait, never mind.
Okay.
Because I was thinking like, wait, for some reason I was thinking like 30,000 and not 30%. Yeah. But then we go back to the kitchen, and then Emerson talking about, like, yo, you left her. It's like, she's still alive.
She's still alive.
When she should be dead.
She
That's not good.
Yeah.
Because, like, if somebody recognizes her, they're going to be like...
You.
Especially, like, if she, like, wasn't all over the news as well.
Right.
Like, if she just died...
It wouldn't be anything.
It wouldn't really be anything. But the fact that, like, she's been on the news, people are going to recognize her. Emerson's like, so who died? And then we find out that it was Lauren Schultz. And then, basically, Emerson's like, I was in proximity. And it's like...
Right.
Yeah, like he was. Ned was not thinking. And then also Ned tells Emerson that he inadvertently killed Chuck's dad when they were kids.
Being confused. It's a very confusing time. Childhood issues, digging in the dirt. It's all coming up.
You know what? We all have childhood issues, okay? Believe me, I got the full subscription, okay? Horror stories.
I kind of killed her dad when I was 10.
Really not a horror story.
She doesn't know. But I wanted to make it better or different than what it was because what it was her dad, and I didn't want that to be my fault too.
Well, who died instead?
It's a random proximity thing.
Bitch, I was in proximity.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, so that, you know, there's some baggage there.
There is some baggage and like that kind of thing. I think it's like Emerson's like saying like I've got like a bunch of childhood trauma, horror stories, and then he's like I kind of killed her dad. Yeah. But then we find out Chuck comes in basically saying, like, I'm not the girl you think I am. I wasn't just, like, somebody who was, like, a shut-in for her entire life only to die on her first outing. But she kind of was.
Yeah, that's
sort of.
happened.
But we find out that she didn't actually pay for the trip.
Right.
She went to travel boutiques and was basically asked she could take this trip free of charge. She just had to get a package.
Right. She just had to make a delivery. Was she dropping it off or picking it up?
I don't know.
I thought she was...
I think she did get a package.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. It just says transporting.
That sounds like delivering.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She had to transport some plastered monkeys. Because why not? Which, like, I don't know if... Would you take that deal? Like, hey, here's a free cruise. Just take this thing.
That sounds a little sus to me. But if I was in her situation, I would understand. I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, that's a reasonable trade-off.
Yeah. So then they found out, like, okay, so that's probably, like, why you got killed. So let's go to travel boutique and meet the travel agent named Dee Dee Duffield.
And these are the monkeys in question.
You died for a pair of plaster monkeys.
Dee Dee said they weren't
Good
worthless.
times.
Their only value was sentimental.
Those must have been some emotional monkeys.
Look, you should ask Dee Dee about all of this. I'm very curious to see what she has to say.
Boutique travel boutique manager Dee Dee Duffield.
That's all, like, all the names for everything.
$50,000 reward would catch a killer before a killer caught her. The reward fell short of achieving its desired goal.
Oh.
Well.
Nice.
And we go there, and she's also dead.
She's dead. Has also been asphyxiated by a plastic bag.
With a smiley face.
With a smiley
I just find
face.
that funny.
Yeah, try to keep it good-humored.
So we wake her up, and then basically Chuck's like, did you know I was going to die? And she was like, She's really being honest, and it's just kind of like, look, if I knew it was safe, I would have done it. And then before we can get, like, any more information out, basically, she kind of, like, goes to grab Ned's cheek, and then it's just like, bleh.
Right, yeah.
It's like, you can scoot back. I keep forgetting that I remember lines from this. Because it's been a while since I've watched it, like, the full season again, but I keep forgetting that I remember stuff.
Right.
So we're like, all right, so where do we go now? And then we find out, hey, where does your luggage go when you die? Your next of kin. We gotta go.
The ants.
We gotta go find Vivian and Lily. Well, we know where they are. They're at the house.
Right.
So we go there. We don't let Chuck in because obvious reasons. But Emerson gives her a hug from Ned.
Yeah. That's funny.
So then we talk to them. We also find out about the ants. So they were, before that, like all of that stuff happened where they became socially distant, they were a synchronized swimming team. I don't think it says it in here, but they're called the Darling Mermaid Darlings.
Many, many, many years later, still holding on to their fading glory as underwater artistes, their lives were changed forever. When Lily, while cleaning the litter box, got dirty cat sand in her eye.
Oh my.
Not only did she lose her eye, but the Darling Mermaid Darling.
So don't have cats.
lost their careers.
They were really big.
Yeah.
And then their, popularity faded.
And they weren't as big.
Then they weren't as big. And then Lily got cat litter in her eye and lost her eye.
That's actually very scary. I have a cat. What if I lose my eye?
Just wear goggles when you're changing the litter. Or get one of those thingies where it just automatically does it for you.
Oh. Tempting.
Or they have, don't they have the nice things there where you just, it's a shovel thing and then you can, really big, just, grab it
Oh, yeah.
real quick?
Yeah.
Also, do cats pee in litter boxes? I've never had a
Yes.
cat. Okay. But you don't need to worry about that?
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, never had a cat.
It's fun. My cat is very cute.
Yeah,
And
so
she's also
then...
very big.
And then that was that. And then they stopped swimming and then they became shut-ins.
It happens.
Like you do. Oh, I should probably mention, Vivian is played by Ellen Green, who's also a Broadway star. She's probably biggest she originated the role of Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors and was in the movie.
Oh. There you go.
And she's so, I've heard her voice. It's very, interesting. Good, but, interesting. Because it kind of, I don't know, some reason it sounds like it cracks, but it's also, very, belty and,
Okay.
dramatic. Yeah. And then, Lily is played by, how do you say her name? Swooshy Kurtz?
Okay.
Okay, I know she's pretty, which is how, because it says with Swooshy Kurtz.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say, I know she was on Mike and Molly
Okay.
after, but so she was on Carol and Company, which she won an Emmy for.
Oh.
And then she was on the show Sisters that lasted over 100 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Which I think some other people were in that. I think what's her name? Stella Ward was in it.
Okay.
And I think it's just one of those I think it's a drama about sisters from the 90s. So it's ran from 91 to 96.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's big for. So those are the ants. And so they go to their house. They're eating some cheese. There's some goat cheese that has a grassy flavor.
Very nice.
And I'll get to the fun. There are some fun facts. There's not a ton. But we might do that to continue that line from Gravity Falls. But basically they're talking, and basically they ask where the luggage is. And specifically a stainless steel briefcase.
Yeah.
But then also Chuck gets out of the car. Because she's Chuck.
Because she's Chuck.
And sneaks in and decides go upstairs, and she's kind of why did I want to leave here? I love this. And I'm yeah, you kind of have that feeling when you go away and get murdered.
Yeah. Man, being murdered has made me really reevaluate my entire life.
But then she sneaks up to her house, up to the top floor of the house, and then finds the stainless steel thing and gets to the monkeys. Mm-hmm. And then Lily goes up and gets the box and then as she's doing that, she gets strangled.
Oh, yeah.
Because the guy's in there.
Yeah, the guy shows up.
And then Ned gets concerned, goes up there, and then also gets strangled.
He almost gets strangled, yeah.
But then Chuck comes in and hits him over the head.
Yeah.
How many bags does this guy bring?
Didn't I kill you?
I can hold my breath for a long time.
Yay! And then and then Lily's alive, by the way.
Yeah, she didn't die.
Because you're I can hold my breath for a long time.
That was great.
And then also has a shotgun. Mm-hmm. And then just shoots him. Mm-hmm. And then he got shot, propelled out of the glass window. So he dead. Mm. Also, we never find out who it was.
No, we don't. I thought that was very interesting. There's no like, they solve the murder, but they don't like solve like the murder.
I mean, like we know the guy, like he's dead. Who cares?
Right.
And then we think there's like a thing because basically, like Lily's right here, and then Ned's right here, and then Chuck's right here. Mm-hmm. So it like seems like, oh my god, like we're caught. But then if you remember, Lily's missing an eye and has an eye patch on, so she can't actually see Chuck.
Right.
So then Chuck sneaks away, and we're all good.
That's how it all works out.
Yeah. So then we go back, and then they have Ned and Chuck have a conversation outside, basically about like, I think like Chuck's like saying, "Did you really do this? Like, bring me back to life for a good deed?" Because I think that's what he's trying to say that as, when in reality he just like wanted like. Do you want pie now?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Was this really an act of kindness?
We don't have any pie.
Here. Were you really trying to do something good for no other reason than to help me?
I was being selfish. I'd love to tell myself I was being unselfish, but I know deep down in my primal sweet spot I was being unselfish for selfish reasons. I just thought my world would be a better place if you were in there.
Oh. It feels like nothing has been good in Ned's life.
Right.
Since he was a kid.
Right.
Like, he went to boarding school, and, like, that apparently, as we see later, it wasn't a good experience. His dad basically abandoned him.
Yeah.
So it seems like Ned has not had a good life and is, like, distancing himself from people and is, like, very, like, upset about life. And I think, like, even if, I remember watching behind the scenes things like costumes, like, if you notice, everybody's costumes are really bright, and then Ned's just, like, in a shirt. Mm-hmm. So then he just says, like, I think it's like, you were the last, like, good thing in my life. I wonder what would happen if I had it back.
Right.
And then she's like, okay. And then they kiss with the monkeys. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, man, these are heavy. And then they break the monkeys. Anything? Yeah. Aww.
Oh, these are heavy.
Oh. The monkey's value was significantly more than sentimental.
And they're gold.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, sell those monkeys.
Sell the monkeys.
But then we find out also that Lily and Vivian got the $50,000 reward.
Right.
And are trying to go back out into the world.
Which is exciting.
Hooray.
Maybe we'll see them again sometime.
Oh, we didn't see them last episode, did we?
No, they did not.
They're regular characters, so.
Right, yeah.
We'll see them.
I kind of figured.
And then also, but Emerson's upset because now he's got to deal with Chuck.
Yeah, right.
And they're doing another case, and then Chuck brings in the idea of like, hey, let's ask this person like any last wishes, like that kind of thing, which I think is nice. But then I'm also concerned about the minute.
But the time, I know it's like, all right.
I think if like you just do it quick, because also like if you just say to somebody who killed you,
right,
it doesn't have to be a full complicated story.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, this person did it. Cool. That's like 10 seconds.
Right.
So maybe it'd be okay. The end. That was a long time.
That's it. That was a lot.
Yeah, we're talking for like an hour on that. But we rambled a lot, too.
Yeah, we did ramble a good amount.
All right, so what'd you think?
I thought that was a very solid pilot. Mm-hmm. Like, it sets up everything. So, I thought, I'm trying to think of, like, things that I was, like, I don't know, things to point out. I thought this is a very narration-heavy show, but I think it really sets up, because I think this does have this very, because it's whimsical, it does have this very, not like picture book quality to it, but it does feel very like illustrated in how it's presented. Mm-hmm. So having like a narration does feel like you're kind of reading a book in that way. But so it does tie it all together. It was really interesting in the beginning because it felt like the beginning was just like all exposition, and then the transition from like exposition to like, oh, we're in real time now was like very like kind of drawn out and just like so that was interesting. It wasn't like and here we are, and then we kind of start off the story. It was like we kind of more like in steps, like took it to the present and then like started the story. So that was like kind of interesting because it wasn't like okay, now we're turning the page, here we are. It was more of like we're just kind of easing into it. So I don't know how I feel about that, but that was interesting. Otherwise, super, super solid pilot.
I would say like I would see it in the second episode. Most of the prologue involves like a pass thing.
Yeah.
So.
Right, like a catching up on something. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I want to see more Pie. I'm thinking about Pie now.
Do you like all the characters?
I do like all the characters. Yeah. I know. I think the relationships between the two main characters, Ned and Chuck. I think it's cute, Like, it is cute, and, like, some of the romance, you are like, oh. Like, and me, who doesn't... I'm very picky with my...
cynical.
I'm a little cynical. But I was being like, oh. And it's which means it's well written. So I enjoy it. And I do love the dialogue style. It's fun. I do like that, like, really quick back and forth.
Yeah,
like,
I do
snippet.
too.
So it's just, like, you can't really think about things. You just have to keep, like, it's next thing and the next thing, and which I just enjoy. So if that stays tight, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's pretty tight
watching.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So I do have some trivia. There's like a little bit, like, I was going through the wiki because I was like wondering how, like, I was basically looking for like a plot synopsis thing, even though like I actually like remember a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But so I did find some facts.
Ooh.
Fun
facts.
So there was like the screener version to people, and then like the aired version. So there was some differences. There's like the exterior of the pie hole change. Vivian's line, because she says in the line when talking about Chuck basically saying like to Ned, "Do you like girls?" Charlotte was a nice girl. Yeah. But the line originally was, "Do you like girls?" Didn't want to assume. The last murder from Matthew Miltenberger, they said he was found dead in a lobster tank of steak. They just said in the screener, they just said he died in a restroom. There's I guess there was a song playing in the house, and so the song was Guilty by Alan Boley, a British jazz singer. The song is used several times in the film Amelie. And then just like awards that this
Quirky.
Episode got. But I don't even know, like, I think like I forget like how I started watching the show, because I think I was watching Ugly Betty at the time. If anybody remembers Ugly Betty.
I remember Ugly Betty. I didn't watch it, but I remember it.
That was such a weird shit. It was like weird, but it was like good weird.
It was. I mean, it's one of the based off a telenovela.
Was that one based off? Okay. The other show with America Ferrera was in that.
Yep.
So I think like I was seeing advertisements for it, and I'm like, this looks like fun. I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, this is great. Mm-hmm. And then it just like I was watching this weekly until it got canceled because the world doesn't like me. But going back, like I think I still really like this episode, but like thinking of like other episodes, I'm like, this isn't one I will like go back to, but it's also a pilot, so like it gets better and like fun,
right?
So there's that to look forward to.
Oh, I'm looking forward to more fun times.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break after talking for like an hour.
Woo!
And like an hour and 4 minutes.
Great.
And we're gonna talk about season 1, episode 2, Dummy.
Stay tuned. I should
probably get the mic towards her. To me. Towards her?
I'm not sure that's a word, but you can always make it one.
You know what? The internet's a weird place. You can basically just make anything.
That's so true.
They're recording?
Yeah, we are recording. Oh gosh, we're gonna watch
episode 1, Pie-Lette.
Ah, wait, I get it. I'm so excited.
It's a pun.
Look at this. We're on a new show. We're already starting off with.
Oh, yeah, we're watching Pushing Daisies, and I'm the fan.
You're a fan. I'm first.